Steven Crowder had been temporarily banned and certain content taken down because he expressed his views on the poor responses to COVID, as well as his investigation into voter fraud. Another dissenter silenced because he committed blasphemy in the eyes of the tech tyrants, and thus should be punished accordingly. Today's totalitarianism demands allegiance to a set of progressive beliefs, many of which are incompatible with logic and certainly with Christianity. Compliance is forced less by the state than by elites who form public opinion, and by private corporations that, thanks to technology, control our lives far more than we would like to admit. Dreher, from his book, Live Not by Lies. Hi, I'm Nathan Collins, bringing you the truth of Christ in a post-truth culture.
Hey there, Crowder Bits. I think this is the first time I've ever done a cell phone video to Crowder Bits. And for those of you who don't know, that's because I've been suspended from YouTube, I guess banned temporarily. Just logged into my email yesterday to find out that we had a strike that wasn't a real strike before for our COVID anniversary video, 15 days to flatten the curve. All the sources are available at loudwithcrowder.com, including the CDC and WHO, which apparently is fake news, can't be used now. And yesterday, YouTube considered it a community guideline strike and took down our episode where we specifically visited and I want to be clear about this here. We've never alleged that the election was won by Donald Trump because we can't. We've never alleged that there was widespread voter fraud that changed the outcome of the election because we can't. You're also not even allowed to express an opinion to that extent. But what was removed was a Nevada episode where we actually sent employees to locations where we looked at voter rolls, cross-referenced them with deliverable addresses, and took video with a copy of that day's paper at those addresses to say that there is at least some brokenness in the capacity as it relates to those addresses. That is now considered a violation of YouTube's guidelines. So I want to be really clear about something here. Well, first off, we'll be streaming here exclusively at Crowder Bits tomorrow and Friday, and I think we'll be able to stream and post again to the main channel next week. Half Asian Kraken is reaching out. Look, YouTube is past the point now here of saying, well, you can say one thing, well, you can't say that. That's controversial. Well, maybe that's hate. None of these violations are considered hate speech. YouTube is making it clear in no uncertain terms that conservative opinions, dissenting opinions, as it relates to COVID or the election, are not welcome on their platform. Investigative journalism is not welcome on their platform, which, by the way, is the single biggest media platform that has ever existed. It is the town square. I tweet about it, but I'm suspended from there too with no cause. So let's be clear about what this means for you. All right, COVID. Have I ever been an anti-masker? No. As a matter of fact, we were selling masks partnered with Jocko in Origin, Maine early on when the CDC was saying that you shouldn't wear masks. We've questioned the efficacy of states that have lockdowns and double mask mandates. Have we ever been anti-vax? No. No, we have not. We've said that we need to protect the most vulnerable, the elderly among us. We even held a protest in Michigan to say that we oppose Whitmer's senior living. I know Joe Lewis. He sees me getting all. Look, I got Joe Lewis here, and look who's filming. Look who's filming. Say hi. What?
Oh, am I upside down? I don't know.
He has famous guy head right now, but he's also much closer to the camera. It's like
what
it's like when TJF did 3D. Whoa! I hope I don't get a Nerf gun. No, didn't say any of those things. When it comes to election, did I say this was stolen? No. Did I say that Donald Trump won the election? No. What I said was this is an address from where someone voted, and it doesn't exist. And I stand by that. That's a violation of the public square right now. This is now clear that conservatives, everyone out there who has an opinion that may be detrimental to this administration, and of course, the people in big tech who support them.
First off, I'm not doing this video because I agree with everything that Steven Crowder says or believes. The reason I'm doing this episode is because the loss of free speech for one person is the loss of free speech for all. If there is no guarantee for even the craziest member of our society to speak without being silenced, then there is no guarantee for me or my children either. The right of free speech is only held up from one generation to the next by a string that can easily be snapped. I'm frankly surprised it's been a virtue for a society for as long as it has, but it seems that it is clearly being lost. This society seems to be continually regressing backwards to the normal state of affairs for most cultures in human history. Security over freedom. Christians, who are lovers of all people created with the infinite value God has placed in them, need to speak up. We need to speak up whether they're conservative or liberal, for their right to speak freely will affect us all. Cancel culture should be very concerning to those of you who are watching this, because while right now this is mostly happening to those who are very visible and well-known figures, it doesn't mean that others who are less public aren't feeling this cancel culture pressure right now, and also that it won't eventually make its way to you. Everything you look at and do online is being tracked and recorded. They know who you are and what things you watch, and they will make their conclusions accordingly. So my view is you might as well be open about who you are and what you believe and speak about it. Some may say, well, this will all blow over in a few years and people will settle down. Sure, this may all blow over in a few years. However, history shows us that it could also get much worse. No matter what, though, the best preventative medicine is to speak up now before we reach the tipping point. For Christ called us to proclaim what we believe. What you hear whispered in your ear, proclaim on the rooftops. Live, love, and speak the truth. Be ready in season and out. Teach your children to discern the lies and falsehoods the world tells itself. What we as Christians believe is offensive to the society of the United States. That is just a fact. Just as Christianity has been offensive whenever Christians live in a mostly unchristian society. The cross and what Christians believed were greatly offensive during the Roman Empire, but that didn't stop the early church. We stand for truth as Christians regardless of the time we have been chosen to live in. We need to tell the world like Peter and John, judge for yourselves whether it is right in God's sight to listen to you rather than God. For we cannot stop speaking what we have seen and heard. This should be our ethos in this life. We must be open and honest about what we believe. Let's not keep silent and so lie as to who we are and what we believe, just to fit in with those around us. It would be better to be an honest, hated man than a loved liar. You can disagree with Crowder and his views, but we should never silence him. How can we talk to people of differing opinions and share the gospel with those who don't believe if certain opinions are not allowed to be expressed? What kind of a society do you want your children to live in? A fake one where everyone goes along with the current narrative of the day so they don't get punished? God forbid it. I can tell you one thing is for certain. If you don't speak up now, others will choose that society for you. Well, that's all for this episode, but if you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe and check out our other episodes as we address different issues in our world and bring you the truth of Christ in a post-truth culture. Grace and peace, brothers and sisters. Mike, are you sure this is not a camera lens? This looks exactly like one. Who gave this to us? Who? Simon? Wait, Simon gave this? Are you sure it's not poisoned? I've been drinking this the whole time. Mike, don't accept anything from Simon.